Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around the Town with Chuck. This is Chuck Guglielmo, and with me this week we have the Joslin brothers, except there are three of them, but only two came. That's the old man here, Aaron Joslin, and the younger brother, Greg. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. Both, of course, are Conneaut High School graduates and JCU graduates.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Aaron, why JCU?
John Carroll. Well, at the time, Paul was there, your son.
Yep.
Tommy was there, my uncle. So I did a visit there, and then at the time I was considering playing football, and that was one of the schools that kind of all worked together. So once I got there, kind of, that was the place I liked the most, I guess. Yeah, that, and I knew I wanted to get a business degree, and I know their business school was.
Was there any other choices, or that was just going to be it?
There was a few. I had applied to John Carroll and like Mount Union, and then there were a few state schools I applied to, like Youngstown State, Bowling Green. Mm-hmm. So, other than that was about it, though. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a wide field.
Sure.
Yeah.
Greg, what about you? Why John Carroll University?
I think for me it was a combination of location, what I wanted to do with football. I thought, at the time I had a chance to play there, so D3. It was competitive D3. They're always in the national spotlight on a smaller scale, especially lately. They've been playing great football there, a lot better than back when I was there. And but it was a combination of trying to find a spot where I could try and play football, being close to home, because family is important to us, and I'd like to be able to come back home whenever. I spend every other weekend at home, and a combination of those things, and then also the proximity to Cleveland as well. So we're big, into the Cleveland sports, and we like Cleveland as a city. So I think all that kind of went into my decision to being there. But yeah, I think for us, Tommy, he kind of paved the path there, right? I think he was the first out of people we knew, right? First person to go there. The Jackie.
Technically, Tommy and Jackie Eaton went at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, as far as our
Adam didn't go, did he?
He did not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So when you have somebody that goes to a school like that, and you go and visit, and you have somebody with that firsthand knowledge, and you find out, what a great university it actually is. And
right.
For both of us, we didn't really look very many other places. Kind of just knew we wanted to go there. And Jay was the same way.
I was just going to say, who wants to speak for Jay now? Why did Jay go to John?
Probably all those same reasons. Next question.
All three of these guys, of course, are local businessmen right here with Joslin-Landis Insurance. Is that what you wanted to do when you were in high school?
When I was in high school?
Did you want to follow your father's footsteps?
I thought there was a chance. Yeah, I mean, it was right about that time when they kind of branched off and started his own agency. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't know a lot about insurance at the time. I mean, I definitely didn't. But, I knew that going to college, I wanted to be kind of in a small business atmosphere. So I went to the business school there, and, they had a focus on entrepreneurship, so I did that. So that was things that I knew I wanted to do. And then I would say, I think it was my junior year, I did an internship where I actually went to work for him in the summer, and I did all my state licensing that summer just to get a feel for it. And I mean, it was something I enjoyed. So I would say at that point was when I knew I wanted to. But I definitely knew at least early on that I wanted to be in that small business arena. Yeah.
Greg, when you were drilling 3-pointers from the right corner at Garcia Gymnasium, at that time, did you want to be a businessman, follow your father's footsteps as well?
I don't remember thinking much about it back in high school. I think in high school it was more of a plan, just go to college, see what happens. But I've always been kind of one of those guys where I didn't really know what I ever wanted to do. And that was always in the back of my mind. Like, it was a place I enjoyed being around, because you go in and you visit when you're a little kid. And it's just that atmosphere, and then getting the chance to work with your brothers and your dad, and 3 people that you get along with.
You guys do a great job.
Yeah,
thank you. A lot of similarities here, but there is one major difference that we'll talk about a little bit later. Jay shares in a lot of these similarities as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple sports players at Conneaut High School. I know, Greg, you played basketball, football, I believe baseball as well. Talk a little bit about the coaches you played for in those 3 teams, and which sport would you say you enjoyed the most in high school?
Well, the first question's easy. I remember all 3 coaches very well. I had Joel Taylor for baseball. I had Ken Houston for basketball, and Ken Priest for football.
And all 3 of those coaches spent quite a few years in
Yes.
Conneaut.
And also Tom Church coached my senior year of basketball.
Did not know that.
That was his first year of coaching.
Okay.
But my experience with all 4 of those coaches was 100% positive. 4 great coaches. They all knew their stuff. It was a pleasure to play for all of them, and those are some of my best memories. Yeah, I mean, it was.
They kept you busy.
It kept me busy. Yeah, there was never a break.
Yeah.
Aaron got a break.
I got a break.
You got a break.
We're going to
Yeah.
find out about that. Now, this is football,
I did
wrestling.
football. I did not wrestle.
You
no.
did not wrestle?
No, I did in middle school. No
Okay.
high school, yeah.
Okay, so and baseball?
And baseball.
And baseball. What about you? Same question I gave Greg.
Yeah.
Coaches and, of course, Joe Taylor.
Yeah, I had Joel Tiller for baseball, and I had Coach Priest for football. And same thing. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I echo what he said. That was what we enjoyed. I mean, even growing up through midget league and all that stuff. I mean, that's what we did. We'd go to school, do our homework, and it was what sport was tonight, you know? But yeah, I mean, those coaches, I mean, it was all positive. I mean, we had, you know, they were both disciplined individuals, which I liked. You know, the structure was nice. You know, and it was hard working, but it was fun.
I don't know why I thought you wrestled.
I didn't, no, my winter was off.
You did in middle school.
I did in middle school, I wrestled.
And why not in high school?
In high school, well, see, I'd always played basketball my whole life.
Okay.
I started wrestling in middle school, and I honestly enjoyed both. But, you know, I didn't enjoy either of them to the point where I was going to commit 5 months to. So I did my time in the weight room for football and baseball, and it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, from what I hear,
I wasn't allowed to go home after school. I know that. It was, you better be going to the weight room, or you better be doing something. You're not going to...
Well, from what I hear, we will have a good wrestler coming up by the name of Bradley Eaton.
Yeah, I think he's doing well.
Yeah. That's all
Yeah,
he has on
yeah.
his mind, according to his dad.
Yeah, he's been doing well. Yeah,
Good kid.
yeah.
Aaron, like I say, you played football, and now you're coaching football for a very successful Conneaut Spartan team.
Yeah.
At least the last 3 years,
Yeah.
they've been very successful. When you played football, did you pick up anything now that you're coaching from the coach you played for?
From the coach I played for?
Or anybody on that coaching staff? You have any
Yeah,
coaching techniques?
yeah. I mean, I definitely see. I'm fortunate where I'm coaching a position that I played, so a lot of the fundamentals. You know, Coach Priest was our linebackers coach at the time, and that's what I'm coaching now. So I mean, there's definitely similarities. I mean, definitely at the basics level. You know, yeah, and I mean, I was fortunate to where even the position coaches I ever had was always great. Mr. Landin was our running backs coach then, and you know, he was great to play for. With him, I just remember work ethic. It was
Bob. Was
it was Bob. Yep. It was always just, you know, if it was an offensive day and it was running backs, we were working hard, and so I mean, I picked that up definitely. Yeah, I mean, as far as like coaching now, I mean, it's just a pleasure. I mean, you know, Rocco, you see him all the time. He's
Great guy.
Yeah, it's great.
How he has turned this program around. I mean,
Yeah.
I was talking to him when I had him in here.
Yeah.
When he first came here, I think the numbers were like in the upper 30s. He's up into the 60s.
Yeah. We probably had, you know, that his first year was my first year doing it, and I think we had maybe 35 on the roster. I take that back. The first year we may have had 40 on the roster, but we were dressing 30 guys a night, you know, whether it was injuries or discipline or whatever the case was. So to go from where we were then to now, it's definitely a positive. Yeah.
Any thoughts down the road that maybe you'd want to step into a head coaching job?
Nah, I don't think so.
No?
Nah, not at this point. No, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I like the coordinator level. You know, people don't realize as much of a time commitment it is to do that. To be a head coach of a program is 24/7. So I feel like, it'd be difficult. It'd be difficult time-wise. Yeah, I mean.
Greg, you never got into coaching, did you?
No, I didn't.
Not interested in it?
No, not really. No.
You'd have to deal with someone like you.
Yeah, right. You know what? I've never even thought about the question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question. Yeah, it's just not. I have thought a lot about. I enjoy seeing the young kids get involved early. Mm-hmm. That might be something I want to get into. I've always kind of told myself when the time's right. I feel like that was one of the most important parts of our childhood was getting involved with, tackle football at an early age, learning the right way to play the game. I think that's something else that Rocco does well is he's getting his numbers, the numbers of the little guys, they're getting involved early. I think that's probably one of the most important things he's doing is getting everybody involved early because the longer you're involved, the more knowledge you get about the game, the more you look forward to playing for high school football. I mean, there's nothing wrong with guys that never play in their life and come out, for their senior year. A lot of people have helped doing that. Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying that, if I feel like if you've been involved with the game since you were 9 years old, as long as you can be involved, and if there's a core group of guys that have been involved with the game since they were 9 years old, you'll see those results on Friday nights. Yeah. I've always kind of I've been interested in that aspect, and I like kids too. So, but yeah, just nothing yet. I feel like I'm at a different part of my life, kind of got other things going on, but yeah. Sure. I always keep telling myself, someday. Yeah.
Aaron, when you look back at this football season, you just had 6-4.
6-4.
Very well could have been 9-1.
Yeah. It was. It's funny because, I always put myself like 4 years ago when, you're 1-9. I tell myself then I'll take 6-4. And then this year you go through it. We had some talented kids. 6-4. It was a successful season in many ways, but at the same time, it kind of left a bitter taste some of these games.
Sure. Yeah. A poor defensive fourth quarter kept you from a possibly 10-0 season.
It did. Yeah. At Tuslaw, we had 28 points in the fourth quarter. Yeah. That was
incredible.
That's a meltdown.
That is.
That goes right on the coordinator's shoulders too.
I'll take it all.
Aaron, do you consider yourself a fiery coach? Or do you keep your cool?
I'll say yes and no. There's times, but it's usually, at least I think this. I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask some of the guys that play. I mean, I think I'm usually relatively calm. I think the only time that I'll get a little excited is if it's effort related or if it's something where I feel we're not paying attention to details. That's about it. I mean,
how about officials? Do they rile you up?
I try to let them not. No.
Tell the truth, though.
Sometimes. There's been a few instances.
Answer the question.
Remember, I'm up in the press box. I've got my eyes on you down there.
Yeah. There's only been a few instances, and it's never bad. I just usually, try to leave that to Rocco. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All I know is if I get a flag, it goes against him. So I know I can't get a flag. How's that?
I guess so too. Greg, what was your best memory of any of the three sports you played in high school? Was there one game or one particular goal of yours that stands out for you in any of the sports?
Well, the first one that just popped into my head probably would have been beating Lakeside in football.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be.
That would have been my sophomore and junior year, right?
I was at home.
That would have been your
one of each, I think.
It would have been your freshman and sophomore year.
Freshman and sophomore.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, just beating because back then I don't know if everybody remembers when those two schools combined, they were kind of like they were the favorites.
Some big powerhouse.
Yeah, they were going to be the powerhouse, and
I think they do that. But go ahead.
No, I think
another story.
It must have been my sophomore year then, where I got to play a little bit in that game at Lakeside. Mm-hmm. That was your senior year,
right?
Your senior year. Yeah. That was just a great game. It was a fun game. It was kind of back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Trying to recall it.
We had.
Did you play with Adam Any chance?
Adam Coke has?
Yeah.
He was
mine.
there.
He was
Yep.
with yours, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he beat Lakeside.
He had a big game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aaron
That was the night.
you had an interception that night.
You guys are what, 2
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
apart?
Yeah, we're 2 years apart. Right.
I'd say that game kind of stands out I think just because of all the hype that was involved with it, and they were supposed to win the NEC. Unfortunately, it was not the very end of the season, so I think they actually came back and did win the NEC.
They did, yeah.
They might have tied with somebody.
I think they tied with Jefferson, but they beat Jefferson,
They beat
if memory serves. So,
But at that time, it was a huge game. I remember winning that game, and it was probably the most excited feeling that I've ever had or experienced in any sports. So we weren't given much of a shot in that game, it seemed like, and we played really well, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Now, you got to play with Aaron.
Yeah.
And you got to play with Jay, too, didn't you?
Jay
On basketball?
Yeah, he was he would have been
He was 2 years younger,
freshman
yeah.
and a sophomore
Yeah.
year. Yep. He was always involved with
Yeah.
That's always been fun too. I got to play shortstop for baseball, and Aaron was the second baseman, so
Yeah.
we did that. And then being involved with Jay at basketball practices was always fun. Seeing him grow up too.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
What about you, Aaron?
Boy,
Anything that you can remember?
that stands out. You know, Greg kind of stole one.
yeah, sorry about that.
I mean, I think, that was, and like he said, that was back with county rival schools when everything was built up, you're going to these stadiums that are selling out, especially that one did, I would say that one, and honestly, I would say even a couple years prior when we actually did win a conference title too, that was exciting. I think we beat again, I was a sophomore that year. I think we beat a Jefferson team in like week 9 in Conneaut. That was a state team. That was a playoff team.
Fun atmospheres.
Yeah, it was a.
Those are the moments that stick out as
Yeah,
more the atmospheres.
It is, yeah.
Those Edgewood games always be packed houses, no matter if it was football or basketball.
Right.
Those Lakeside games were always packed. It's
Yeah.
fun to perform in front of, like crowds like that.
Yeah, and you're right because I mean
Which
most
you don't have now at the at
right
least
now
not
we
at the
don't.
basketball games.
Yeah, right now we don't, and hopefully with a new conference alignment that
So that's going to
will start to
next.
build. Yeah.
And you're kind of excited about going from reading your stuff that you've
I
seen
am.
on Facebook. Kind of
Yeah.
excited about playing some of those
Yeah.
Pennsylvania schools, and I am too. At first, I had a little bit of mixed reaction, not playing Edgewood, but
Yeah.
Campbell was telling me, Jim Campbell,
Yeah.
that it may be just a 2-year thing.
Yeah, and I think
And you may be able to get it back on the
Yeah,
schedule.
yeah, I think it will be. I mean, the main difference between Ohio and Pennsylvania is, in Ohio football, you're scheduling 2 years in advance for games. In Pennsylvania, they're scheduling that next season in January, so they're only 9 months ahead. So this first year there it was a challenge trying to keep the games that we'd like to keep.
It looks like an attractive football schedule. I've already
Yeah, I think
seen
so.
it.
I mean,
5 home, 5 away.
I think so.
7 against
Yeah.
Pennsylvania schools.
Yep, I think so. It should be fun. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with some of the schools and facilities. I mean, I think, I don't know the exact numbers. I think 4 or 5 of the 6 have, brand new stadiums, nice turf fields. The facilities themselves are very nice.
Well, our Joslin field is pretty dirty.
It is, and I guess what I'm saying is it's nice. We're going to be part of the, not just from a competition standpoint. It's going to be nice venues to go to. It's going to be a good thing. I really think so. Yeah.
I want to talk about something that's very touching. These boys here at your mom's golf tournament.
Yeah.
Every summer, is it?
Yeah.
Did you start it, Greg? Or all 3 of you started together?
We all did.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What you try to do for that.
Yeah, every year we do, there's a scholarship set up in my mom's name and her memory. And that's just one of the things we try to do to raise funds for it, and then use that scholarship to fund various things around our county. And it's kind of just a fun way to do it. We've always enjoyed going out and trying to shoot around a golf, and we've always enjoyed participating in other outings that go on around the area. So figured why not?
I understand
give it
it's
a
very
shot.
well attended.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the community support's great.
Yeah.
We usually end up with 100 golfers, and
Now,
You
what
know.
about, what can somebody do that maybe they don't know how to play golf, like me, for example?
Yeah,
Well, what can they do?
Yeah.
This,
we have, when you're putting on a scramble like that, there's areas where we always have volunteers, whether it's whether it's at the turn with even just hot dogs, food, handing out. We have people that need to sit on holes to observe. So I mean, there's plenty of opportunity for volunteers, and we have a lot of people that do. It's can't have too many, I guess, is one way to put it. Yeah.
well, I think that's very nice that you guys do that.
Yeah,
And
it's-
how many years
Let's
for
see.
that tournament?
I think we just did.
We just did four.
So
this
we're
would be
gonna come up
this
with
would be the fifth. Yeah.
Usually like in August.
Yep.
Yeah, usually first couple weeks of August.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Greg, back to sports now for a
Yeah.
minute. We asked you to think of something that was memorable. Is there anything there you'd like to forget about?
Oh yeah.
Only pick one, Greg.
Only pick one.
Yeah, we got about 8 minutes, so only pick one.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that popped up was our senior basketball season. It was very brutal.
I don't quite remember it, but.
It was
Record-wise, or?
Yeah, record-wise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We had fun, but
Were you supposed to be better? I don't quite remember right now.
well, yeah, we thought we were going to be better, and we ended up losing a couple key guys in the off season to suspensions, and they were going to be big parts. They were underclassmen, but they were going to be big parts of that team. We lost a scorer, we lost a big guy, and outside of those two, we were left pretty thin with a first-year head coach, and things started to unravel fast that year.
Okay, you said this was your senior year.
Senior year, yeah, it's
Brett was on that team, right?
yeah, it was me, Brett, Carl, Elam. We're kind of the seniors that have played together since we were little. So we always had the vision, growing up that was going to be our time, and it definitely wasn't. It was total opposite of that, and it was it was a humbling experience. I'd like to say that we're all better for it now, but that's the one that I kind of start to think about. I'm like, okay, let's stop thinking about that. that wasn't very fun.
Of course, when you were in your senior year,
Yeah.
your cousin, what's his first name? Fleshman.
Oh, Brett.
Yeah.
Brett was also, was he a year ahead of you, or was
He was a year below me.
He was a year below you, so you did go up against him.
Yeah.
In that Conneaut Edgewood rivalry. What was that like?
That was fun because he was a wide receiver and I was a cornerback. So it was always, hey, wherever number 8 goes, you got him. I'm like, sounds great. We always had fun out there, especially baseball as well. We played against each other in baseball. So I definitely have some good memories with Brett out on the field too. He's a funny kid.
Of course, did you ever play against Jonathan?
Jonathan was Jay's age, right? So
Yes. Yeah. He's Jay's age.
no, he was a little younger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aaron, what about you? Anything you'd want to forget about?
Boy, forget about. I mean, as far as like an individual performance, individual performance. I know the first game of my senior year at Brookfield was probably the worst football game I've ever
For you
played.
yourself,
in my
you
life.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we took a beating down at Brookfield, and me personally, I did not play well. It was a rough.
Film session was rough the next morning, huh?
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it going in. I'm like, oh boy. It was one of those games where you haven't seen the tape yet, but it was one of those like
Yeah, but
You'd rather stay home.
You get to do that to kids now.
Yeah, now I'm on the
same
flipping
film
end.
session.
And that was where Bill Lips. That's where Bill Lips. You just knew it was coming. He'd sit there in Saturday morning film, and it was like, oh, he's gonna have my number all day.
He's at Edgewood now, right?
Geneva. Well, I'm sorry, he's the Edgewood baseball coach, and then he's a defense coordinator at Geneva. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, Cindy, there is a major difference between these two. Actually, between 3. I was hoping to get all 3 of them here, and you know what I'm going to talk about, don't you?
Possibly.
We need to know why. I want to know why, and I want everybody out there to know why. We'll start with Greg.
Okay.
Why do you root for the Kansas City Chiefs? Give us the story behind that.
Okay. Yeah.
Jay's not here. Jay roots for the Dallas Cowboys, I believe.
Yeah.
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 Tell us why it's the Kansas City Chiefs and not Cindy's Pittsburgh Steelers.
It all started with a cold, crisp morning, December 25th, 19, I don't know, probably I was probably 4 years old maybe, I don't know.
3 or 4, yeah.
My dad bought us all those little Hutch football outfits where they come with the little shoulder pads and the helmets.
It's interesting.
Jay got the Cowboys outfit, I got the Chiefs outfit, Aaron got the Steelers outfit.
That's how it started?
Swear to God.
Ever since then, my favorite player growing up was Christian Okoye. He was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Nigerian Nightmare. Ever since then, it was, Dad, are the Chiefs on TV this week? I gotta watch the Chiefs. So we just followed those teams ever since then.
So do you have direct TV to get all their games?
The last couple of years have been nice. Yeah, I've got to watch all 16 games the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Before that, it was being on the internet and watching a little football move across the screen. Trent Green just threw to Priest Holmes for 6 yards and then it moved. That's
you
how
still
it
work
was.
for them when they're playing Cleveland?
No. Ever since probably high school, unfortunately, I kind of got away from the Chiefs because they were never on TV. Mm-hmm. Never got to watch them. Basic cable growing up, never got to watch the Chiefs. Kind of started hanging my hat on the Browns, and we were also Cleveland Browns fans from when we were this big as well. It was always the Bernie Kosar t-shirts.
My poor father never in a million years had to think that buying us these outfits for Christmas were going to impact us the rest of our lives. Yeah. There's no way he planned on that happening.
But that's how it started.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kansas City was 1-5 to start the season.
Yeah.
They really went on a tear. Would they win like 9 in a row?
They won the rest of it.
Yeah, they won.
They won out.
I think their biggest struggle was against the Browns during that stretch.
They had a good second half. I was really hoping they'd win that playoff game there against Patriots, but just wasn't in the
cards. They could have won it too.
Yeah.
Aaron, you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I guess it's kind of goes along with that story.
See, now he has the luxury where he could root for the Browns. Chiefs, Browns, it's not a huge. When you're a Steelers fan, I mean, there's no crossover, right?
But is it really a rivalry anymore?
Well, it hasn't been lately, but
like the Bengals are beginning to be
the Bengals, and it was the Ravens there for 5-6 year stretch. Yeah, well, hey, it all goes in cycles. The Brown cycle's coming.
When?
I don't know. It's coming though.
It's the Hugh Jackson era.
Hugh Jackson.
It's now.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Hugh Jackson was before we signed him. So
that's the real story. Is all three. Now you also have a couple uncles, I think, that root for the Tennessee Titans. What's this?
You know what?
That can be with the same story.
No, I can't really speak for them.
I know they went all the way to Florida to watch the Titans.
Chris
lived in Houston when they were the Oilers. Rooted for the Oilers.
He was a huge Oiler fan his whole life.
No, at that point,
Oilers and Astros.
Tommy was a youngin', so he was rooting for his next oldest brother's team, the Oilers. Yeah. Well, then they moved to Tennessee, so they might have more details on that, but that's the gist of it. That's what I know.
And Dad roots for?
We're Browns fans.
He roots for the Browns. Yeah. So what happens when the Browns and the Steelers, or the Browns and the Chiefs, or the Browns and the Cowboys, or whatever combination, what happens when you're all together?
We get mad at each other.
That's about it.
Verbally, hopefully.
So they're always in the Super Bowl, and we're always sitting at home.
How many trips, Aaron, to the Super Bowl?
Well, 8 trips, I think.
You almost would have been one this year.
Yeah, they were close this year.
They got talent. Yeah.
Another team that, what was I going to say about them? Oh, the defense was a little bit of struggle, but it seemed late in the season it got better.
I thought the last month of the season and their first playoff game, they actually played. They played well. I mean, not what they were before, but they played well. Yeah.
Now, what about in the other professional sports? Do you have any differences here? Greg, I know you're with the Indians.
We're all Cleveland.
We're the same across the board.
All Cleveland fans.
Cavaliers,
Cavs, Indians.
Yeah.
Cavs, Indians, Browns are number one. Unfortunately, Kansas City kind of took the back seat there growing up just because.
Well, let me close with this question. Cavs.
Yeah.
Do they have enough? Or are they going to make a trade? What I mean by enough to get the ring, or whatever they call that thing.
I'll answer yes. They very well should.
You think they have enough?
They better. They got 3 superstars on their team.
Mozgov can hang on to that ball pretty good when they throw it inside to him.
What happened to him, huh?
I don't know.
I thought he was going to be a star there.
Lettuce.
Yeah.
He looked so good last year in the playoffs.
What do you think?
I think it's
Can they do it?
embarrassing. Embarrassing if
I
they
think-
make a move.
Well, I think the answer is yes to both your questions. I think they have enough now if they played well, but I think they're going to make a move still.
I think that's
I
embarrassing.
think they're gonna make a move too.
Yeah.
But who?
Yeah.
I heard Delhi.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's suffered since he's
Yeah.
been out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they might reconsider that after watching these last couple
And
games.
he's got some trade value now.
He does. He does. Who'd have thunk?
I know, he's played
2
well.
years ago.
He's played well. Well, it was nice having Greg Joslin and Aaron Joslin. Too bad we couldn't get Jay. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
And reminisce and talk about the good
Yeah.
times. And
Yeah.
I'll ask your dad when I have him on if he remembers why everybody roots
Ask
for the
him.
team you say root for.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he says.
Yeah. He's probably
Thanks, guys.
traumatized.
Thanks for having us.
Aaron Joslin and Greg Joslin with us on Around the Town with Chuck. We'll see you next week.